Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, thank you for that round of applause. We give it up to the man who deserves it most. Torrin, give it up to Torrin. Thank you. Wow, absolute pleasure to be here, and thank you all for coming out on such a wet and rainy night. I want everyone here to relax. I want to take the piss out of anyone here unless I already have to for two reasons. Firstly, it's not my style, and secondly, I don't like it when people come up and yap into my face when they should be minding their own fucking business. That's why every now and again I like to go to a shop, walk straight up to a sales assistant and say, "Can I help you?" And when they go, "No," now you know what it fucking feels like. You need me, I'll be your Tesco's. And welcome to all our foreign friends here tonight. That's a real pleasure to have you here. I am actually a foreigner myself, obviously not in this country. But whenever I go abroad, I make a point of it, which is good. And so Hayley, you live in America?
Yeah.
America. I live in a very sad Fort Escort. So what I find that funny is like America. Yeah. Really, I don't, yeah. And I've got a friend who actually lives in a free car. Yeah, which is a free car, which is quite nice. A free car. And welcome to our South African friend. What was your name again? What was funny? If I missed that out completely. So, Mark, sorry, I got that. Welcome, Mark. I speak South African, which I learned how to speak South African on an aeroplane. As we was on an aeroplane, and as we all came into land, and obviously when I say came into land, yeah, I don't mean we each inherited a small farm. So amazing. Anyway, and I was sitting next to a girl, and she's like, my ears had popped, and I didn't hear a thing, but I believed her. And then I had to show her how to hold her nose really tight and how to swallow really hard. So it was quite a good flight. And then the South African lady who's the air host came on the PA, and you know if you get two numbers, you put them together, you add them, and if you get flowers, you put them in a vase. And she told us to put our seatbelts, and she said, I advise you to put your seatbelt on. I apologise, terrible accent, but they can't help it. So this is that's terrifying. So what can I say? Yeah, so happy Christmas, happy New Year. I did a lot of soul searching over Christmas, and if I'm honest with you, I couldn't find it. I was looking for change in my life. I did the soul, couldn't find it. I searched behind the sofa and found some change, so it wasn't all bad. And New Year is very exciting. I set my computer monitor to 1024 by 768. That's my New Year's screen resolution. And I did a lot of meditating, and I did so much meditating, arrested by the thought police for loitering in memory lane. Playing on the emotional swings and roundabouts. So I actually invented my own religion in the end. Because it's based on Buddhism, but I couldn't morally or ethically or legally call it Buddhism. It's called I Can't Believe It's Not Buddha. And I Can't Believe It's Not Buddha, we look at ourselves and there's deep sense, and you can learn things about yourself. So I'll try and give you an example. So, madam, have you ever used an inkjet printer? You know, the kind of printers? Have you used yet a printer?
I think so, like 10 years ago.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm
From Turkey?
Yeah.
Okay, as well, okay, that's good. Oh, exactly, so you're good. Okay, I'm good. Did you enjoy Christmas turkey? So, I got stoned over Christmas, whatever, and I ran out of dough, basically. I had to roll the joint out, the only stuff I could find in the house, which was basically sage and onion stuffing. I got a cheap pie, in the morning, and had to go through a dreadful cold turkey in the afternoon. So what I'm trying to say is, like, anyone here, who's in IT? You got anyone in IT? There you go, right. I used to work in computers as well. Obviously not in computers, far too big for that. Those days are gone, damn microchips. I used to work with computers for a large telecommunications company in Belgium. what do you think? Computers, telecommunications, Belgium, actually wasn't that exciting. I left that job shortly after they asked me to leave. So the thing is, if we're looking at, I can't believe it's not Buddha, okay, and so you'll know as well, back her up on this. If you get one of those modern inkjet printers and you get a printer, how much would that printer cost, for example, typically? Like 50, 60, 70 quid, they're not that expensive what they look like. But if you want to replace the cartridge, do you know how much it would cost to replace a cartridge? Yeah, exactly, it's like 70, 80 pounds. Now, you don't have to do this, but you can buy little syringes of ink that you inject into the cartridges that you've got, and you can put them in the inkjet printer and that will work. Now perhaps you're defrauding the company that made the printer, I don't know, but do you think it's alright to do that, to put that ink in those countries? Not in the whole world, just in this country?
Why not?
Okay, exactly. So you believe in re-inking our nation? It's a lot of work, don't you? So that's what I'm trying to say, and there's another joke, by the way, which I can't remember. So yeah, I experimented with drugs over Christmas, and nearly died. Yeah, crashed a helicopter made out of aspirins. So, and yeah, it's tricky. I have a lot of problems because I'm honest. I try to be honest. It's hard to be honest. When people ask me a question, I tend to be kind of honest, and then it's awkward. So I was in my local coffee shop and I went in there and I hadn't been there for a while, and then this guy, he said, I didn't really know you, I haven't seen you for a while. And I'm like thinking, I don't want to fucking talk to you, not in an offensive way, I just don't know you. I've now got to say something about why I haven't been somewhere that I haven't been to someone that I don't particularly know or want to know. And I said that to him, I said, I'm not being rude, but I just don't want to talk to you about, well, I haven't been here, because then you'll start asking me questions. I've got to answer the questions. I tend to answer honestly, and it's just going to be awkward, because every time I come in here, you're going to go, all right, mate, and then I'm going to have to go, all right, mate. And I'm not that, I hope you're all right, but I don't actually want to check for you right now. And I don't want to get into any deeper conversation. And then if I go in and I'm having a laugh with another mate, then you're going to feel left out, even though I don't even fucking know you, and I didn't want to know you. And then if I do see you and I walk in and I'm trying not to catch your eye because I don't want to do you all right, and you're going to think I'm ignoring you and I don't even know you. And he said, if you could just tell me what coffee you want, that would help a lot. And that's what happens, because people, they ask you questions, and it's like if you walk down the street and someone says, have you got any spare change? Have you got any spare change? And I feel bad for the situation that they're in, okay? And have you got any? And the answer is, it's kind of yes and no. It's like, I've got a bit of change on me, but I want to keep that change because I want to buy something that's not particularly big. You know, like if I've got a couple of pounds, I want to get a card out, and they haven't even got a card, you know, so and I'm like there, and they go, have you got, and it's like, I don't want to answer that question. You can say, yeah, I have, but I don't want to explain my personal finances to someone that I've only just met. And it's just, yes, I have got change, yes, you can have it, it's technically spare, but at the moment I don't particularly want to get into this conversation. And to me it's a bit like me going up to someone in the street and saying, have you got any spare organs? You know, because technically the lung and the kidney are spare, but you don't particularly want to give them anything. And I was walking down the street. This is true. I was in Reading, which is kind of, I live in West Reading, right, which is not the end of the world. Right, the end of the world is central Reading. To get to where I live, you've got to go to the end of the world and then keep fucking going on. You know, this is a very awkward area. I was standing at the bus stop, and this guy said, "You look a bit nervous, whatever." And I said, "I'm worried about the crime in the area." And he said, "Relax, it's easy." That kind of area, right? But I was walking along and there were two guys in suits with the badges on them and carrying a book. More men's, more. There were two of them. Yeah. And do you know the guys I mean? And they stop you and they say, "How are you today?" And you're not really interested in how I am. You're going to try and get me to join your group. And he's like, "Have you read the Bible?" And I said, "I'm not bi," which did very good. And he goes, "No, we represent the Jesus, the Latter-day Saints or something like this. And I believe that every word in this book is true." And I'm like, okay, you don't want to go there. He said, no, what do you want to say? I said, well, look, did you read a lot of different books? Like, did they give you a number of different books, and did you read them and then choose which book you thought was true? Or as you grew up, did they just give you this one book? And that's why you think, if I'd just read fucking Jack and the Beanstalk, I'd probably read that, and it's a nicer book in my opinion. And he said, but don't you think that Jesus died on the cross to save you from your sins? And I said, okay, right, the book's 2,000 years old, so logically there's probably some sense in it, because otherwise it wouldn't get duplicated, but it's gone through word of mouth well. So like most of the books I've read that persevered, it's probably about 70, 80, 90% correct with some errors, you know, in the translation and everything else like that. But I'm sure the general theme of it is quite nice. It's more important that you live your life in a way that God, if there is a God, would respect and admire you, than you just say that this book is absolutely perfect. He said, but Jesus, there is only Son die on the cross to save you from your sins. And I said, I'm not being funny, but it doesn't seem to fucking work. Right? It's like, you know, I tried out a joke earlier, you know, about aspirins and helicopters. Didn't quite, I wouldn't keep doing that for 2,000 fucking years. Maybe for a couple of years, whatever. And also, I didn't ask him to, and it doesn't make sense. You know, there's only some die. Like, if I was swimming and I was drowning, my dad was there, and I go, help me, help me. He goes, it's hard to explain, mate, but I'm going to let you die to save other people. And you go, that hasn't worked. And the whole logo thing, it's like, you walk out, there's a church around the corner from me, and there is a 3D fucking effigy of a man being tortured to death outside the building. Right? I'm going, we see it and you go, that's sick, mate. That's not even Trump wouldn't fucking like that. And I said, well, that's what the Romans did, right? Did he say anything while he was up there? And they said, yeah, he said, forgive them for they know not what they do. All right, so he said, forgive them. By forgive them, I don't think he meant make a fucking model of it and stick it around the world for 2,000 years. You know, forgive. I was going out with a girl a while back, and then she started shagging another bloke about 10 years ago, and I found out, and I was pissed off for about 7 years, but I forgave her. That's why I haven't got a 3D model of her being sucking off another bloke stuck to the side of my fucking house anymore. So yeah, it's, I don't know, people say stupid things, and you know, when people say things like, yeah, no, I thought to myself the other day, I should go shopping. And you think, well, of course you thought to yourself, you're not going to fucking think to anyone else, are you? Yeah, I thought to my wife, get some cheese. And it just didn't work. Some of you may have noticed, some of the more astute of you may have noticed that I'm actually growing my hair at the moment. Thank you very much indeed. I thought about trying to stop it, but it's pointless. So I'm growing it at the moment, and now I'm not growing it. Now I am again. It's a mind control thing. It's really quite complicated. I went to the hairdressers a while back, and I thought, yeah, fuck it, I'll get a haircut. And then when I was there, I thought, I'd get a all cut, save a lot of time. So, English. This is new material, so it's always going to be a little bit random. What else can I say? Yeah, English is a very tricky language, isn't it? I was looking at the origin of different words, and some of the words are quite simple. Things like football, fireplace, eyelid, anteater. Words that we use quite often. When you look at them, you realise they're made up of 2 words, and that makes sense. It's like fireplace. What should we call that? How about the fireplace? She goes, that's the best you can fucking come up with. It's not very imaginative. Is that some words made up of swear words, but because we use those words so much, we don't really notice that. You know, like cunt is a very rude word, not a word I'd normally use. Anus is a very rude word, and I wouldn't usually use them. But if you put those words together, you know, what do you get? Containers. Containers that we're happy to put to our lips every day without even thinking about it. And if you look at the origin of that, there's a lot of sense behind it. You know, containers, they're all places you can store things. So, and some of the words are actually named after the sound itself. And I realised the other day I was reaching for a handkerchief or a tissue, and that's how they actually got the name for it. Is when you're in a rush and you've got to sneeze, isn't it? Can you pass me a tissue? I thought that was funny. A tissue. It's like, can you buy me a tissue? Okay. And we got something else. I was thinking, yeah, apparently the guy who invented the abacus was very good at explaining things. Did you know that? Because they would say to him, like, why have you made that little board with the rods and all the beads? He goes, because it needs a top on that one. So yeah, life is kind of crazy and mad, and I did have a question to our American friends, which is basically, what the fuck is going on? It's just fucking insane. I can't even do any jokes about Trump because it's so mental. Every time I hear what he's done recently, I just fucking get blown away, much like anyone who opposes it. So I've moved recently. I lived in a shared house. Which anyone here live in a shared house? You live, yeah, that's right. Is it working out okay for you? It's alright. It just didn't work out for me. I share with mate my Dave, and I've got it Mondays to Thursdays, and then he has it on the weekends. And it's just alright because I've got nowhere to go on the weekend. You know what I mean? I end up staying with him, and he's charged me rent. So and where we lived wasn't that good. It's in Reading, and basically I live next to a model shop, which is very nice. It's only about that big, but perfect. And on the other side, there's a blacksmith's. Have you ever been to Reading? Have you seen the blacksmith's in Reading? No? It's not a real one, turns out. It's a forgery. So, thank you. And then opposite me, and this is true, is a magic shop, which is really nice. Yeah, a magic shop, and a very successful magic shop for quite a while until it closed down. And while I lived there, the shop, apparently it changed hands about 3 times, and no one could see how it was done. And then towards the end, apparently a load of money vanished from the till, and the manager disappeared. So I don't know where we're going to end on this. I was looking at the internet. I've got a friend who believes all those internet rumours. You know what I mean? Like it's true. He really believes there's like loads of computers all connected together and talking to each other. It's just like an internet rumour. It's like a rumour. It's all the internet. So I kind of stepped back from there, and the AI stuff is blowing my mind. And this is actually true. I was watching a video, and it was a woman who was talking about her channel and saying how AI had saved her channel because she'd become very ill and couldn't present the channel anymore. And I was looking at it thinking, I know you're on about you're presenting the channel. Eventually, I realised that was AI. Because the videos, I had no idea right up until the moment just before the end where a 3-headed mongoose started fucking her from behind. Quite astonishing. So yeah, life is crazy. I'm going to get off in a second. It's I get wound up. I get wound up by simple things like, do you ever do this? What the buses are like up here, but do they talk to you? The buses talk. Do the buses tell you which bus they are when you get on? Well, I'm in Reading. You might not notice it, and maybe it does because you don't notice. But I live in Reading, and I get on the Purple 17 to Reading train station. As soon as I get on it, this voice goes, Purple 17 to Reading train station, and I immediately think, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I'm on it. And I look at all the people on the bus, and I think, well, they all know because they're still on the bus. Who is this message for? And I look at the driver, and I think, if it's for him, we're kind of fucked. And what I'm trying to say is, with all this technology, there's just too many beeps and bings and bongs and things. In a shop, and they start running stuff through the till, and they're like this, and they go bip, 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 and some of them are so bored they can't even be bothered to say bip. And I was watching this lady doing this thing, and then I was trying to buy a banana. I got the banana, I went to the till, the thing with the 2 areas, and you could never work out which is the bagging area. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just fucking standardise it. I'm like, is that the bagging? Is that the bag? Place object in bag now. I'm doing that, press a button, then it said, do you want a receipt? I'm like, no, it's just a banana, no receipt. And then I went to get out, and there's a barrier there that normally you walk through, and I tried to walk through, I couldn't walk through the barrier, it was locked, and I'm like really confused. I'm looking at the guard, and he's like, you've got to scan your receipt. Have you ever done that? You got to scan the receipt on the thing. I'm like, it's just a fucking banana. Do you mean the world has gone mad? We're about 2 Tesco software updates from having a fucking Ed 209 from Robocop guarding the door. To me, just trying to get through there, and there's fucking, put down the banana, you have 20 seconds to And I was on a train a while back, I'd eat on this, I was on a train, and you know when you're on a train and there are all these announcements like, keep all your possessions with you, if you see anything suspicious, report it to a member of staff immediately. The next station is this, the last station is that. And every single message is preceded by a ding dong. You're sitting on a train, it's like, I've been in airports where they don't have the ding dong. You know, ding dong, if you see this, ding dong, stand clear the door. Ding dong, keep this message with you. Ding dong, the buffet car is here. Ding dong, stop fucking stop announcing the announcement. We would be able to work out it's an announcement just by hearing it. So we're not going to call the guard over. What's the problem? I don't know. I think there's someone trapped in the roof who knows a lot about the train. And it's a very frustrating situation. You feel powerless, but what can you do? What you can do is go around the head of Network Rail's house, right, at 5 o'clock in the morning. Just start pressing his bell. Go, ding dong, my name's Matt. Ding dong, do you like cheese? Ding dong, I've got a helicopter made of aspirin. Ding